Hey guys, welcome back. We got a video on the two most popular AR-15 Magwell extensions. We've got the HRF Concepts. It's a polymer Magwell extension here versus the Parker Mountain Machining metal Magwell extension right there. So we're gonna go head to head, pros and cons, which one should you get? Before we get too deep into the video, I just want to explain why I have two of these. I initially had two HRFs. I used them. They broke twice, and each time HRF was nice enough to send me a new one. The problem was I didn't like that, and I wanted something a little bit more robust, so I got the metal PMM. So let's talk about pros and cons of each one, right? HRF, let's talk price. Price, we're looking at about $57 on their website. So $57 for the RCM, the Rifle Combat Magazine Well. I wouldn't go so far as to use this in combat. I know it's very popular on Instagram, right? All those nice setups have an HRF, looks cool. From my experience, not super, I would say combat rated. The Parker Mountain Machining Magwell, it goes for $110. It is made out of 6061 aluminum, so it is metal and it won't break as easy as the HRF. Next, let's talk construction, right? The HRF, like I said, it is a 3D printed polymer, which makes it lightweight. It's only 0.6 ounces, but I've had several occasions where I was bumping into a table while it was slung on me and it broke. Another time I had it set up, I had the light on while I was doing work in a room, and it fell over and cracked, broke off. Not the end of the world. I don't need it for function of the gun, but it kind of sucked. So I was like, how many more of these am I gonna break? I finally like, let me find a metal solution to this so I don't keep breaking these and having to replace them every couple of months. This is made of aluminum. It is not that much heavier at all compared to the HRF. I really like it. But let's look at the Magwell and the flared opening. The HRF is a little bit more flared compared to the PMM, but that is a feature I'm willing to, I guess, compromise with. I don't really see any big difference in the ability to get a mag in. Let me close my eyes. The HRF is actually, I'm not gonna lie, it's very good at catching that magazine, even if you don't know where it is. So that is one big plus of the HRF, and I do like that. So say you are in a room, it is dark, you can't see, and I'm coming to do a mag reload. Not that much more difficult with the PMM. You're gonna find that Magwell with either one. So again, what I say is this type of thing, people are like, holy shit, like why would you spend $100 on an accessory? It is a nice to have. It's not a need, it is a nice to have feature on a rifle. So don't be going out and buying one of these when you don't have a light on your gun or you don't have an optic on your gun. These are nice to haves. If they do break or fail, you can still reload your gun. You should know how to do that without a Magwell extension. Do that first, right? Get good at that before you then start going and getting these. But for the speed, and if you are in a situation where, say you're competing or you use a gun for work, law enforcement, military, and you really need to have a fast reload, just in case of anything, it doesn't hurt. It is a nice to have and it does not hurt. So those are some things to look at when you're looking at some magazine wells. I really like the fitment on the PMM. Let's talk about that. It pivots right here at this set screw, and it just clamps on around any regular M4 pattern Magwell. Okay. Then down here you have a screw that goes across and tightens, clamping that in. Very tight fit, very well made. The PMM. Their stuff is a little bit costly, but it is quality, very good quality stuff. Anything I bought from them has been top notch. You know when you buy something like, damn, that's good. Like the Badger Ordnance Mount. There's some things that are worth the money. That being said, before looking at the PMM, I was looking at the Lancer metal. There weren't a great amount of options for a metal magazine well. So I saw the PMM and I went with that because I know their stuff is really good, and they did not disappoint. The HRF is two different pieces. There's a top piece here, bottom piece here. All right, so you can see there's a little line right here. Right? That's where they meet. So they slide on from the top and the bottom, and then two screws right here, screw going up here and a screw going up here, through here, will tighten this down onto the existing magazine well of that rifle. One of the issues I had with this initially on one of my other guns was it wasn't super tight, right? Even though that these screws were in all the way, there was still movement up and down. So if there's any variations in an AR-15 system, you're going to have an issue, possibly, potentially. All I did to fix that was I pulled this back out, I put a rubber band in there and then pushed this back down. It was then tight. There was just a little buffer in between the actual metal of the magazine well and the HRF RCM. So something to think about, not a big deal. It was pretty tight once I got that in there. If you don't like the idea of that, or you just want something a little bit more solid, then you may want to go with a metal magazine well. Based on your budget, what you think you want to spend on something, like I said, it is a nice to have, but it is nice to have, I'm not gonna lie. So after all said and done, which one should you get? Which one is better? I think that if you are going to the range, shooting, or just posting pics of your gun on Instagram, the HRF is not a bad option. It's definitely a more budget-friendly option than the PMM. And if you don't think you're gonna be smashing into things like getting on and off of helicopters or in and out of vehicles where you have the possibility of banging against something hard, this might work for you then. If you are looking for something a little bit more robust and you are willing to spend a little bit more money, but then again, if a few of them break on you, then you're going to be spending what you would have paid for originally on one of these anyways. So if you do have a duty gun, you are working where you have an AR M4 platform, and there is a possibility of it banging up against stuff or things banging into you, I would go with the metal option. Perceivably, it's not any heavier, and it is very durable, much more durable than the plastic. So those are my 2 cents on the AR-15 Magwells. People are probably gonna get angry at me and say my HRF is the best and it's never broken on me. Great, cool, but you know, those are my experiences. So good luck with your purchases. Find out what works best for you and go train.